Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the mystery storytelling podcast with a clairvoyant twist. We end every episode with Darcy answering a question from a listener about her psychic process. Whatever is going on in her head, I think it's so cool and astonishing. Trust me, you're going to have your own questions. Now, before I let you go, we had a listener named Hank recently requested that I ask you this question. Darcy, it's obvious you encounter in your life a number of ghosts and spirits. Is there one that still haunts you? And if so, why?
Okay. He doesn't... His name's Herbert. He was a World War I pilot who was killed during the war.
Oh.
And he so much haunt me as he's like my protector.
You're kidding. So you have someone who is deceased acting as a protector?
Yeah, I met him, I believe, somewhere between 3 and 6 years old. And when I realized that, I thought he was real, but I kept telling him he scared me because all I could see was the holes and the blood and the gore. So I kept telling him if he kept showing me that, I couldn't talk to him because I'd hide under the blankets. And then that's actually where I learned that you could say to spirits, I'll help you as long as you show me how you should have looked in life.
Oh, so go ahead.
He shows up like if things are going wonky in my world. He shows up to give me a little nudge to tell me to pick my socks up, so to speak, and to make corrections.
Okay, I want to follow up on that, but before I do, I want to ask you, when you first started seeing him, you were saying you were seeing him as he looked when he had been killed during the First World War?
Yeah.
So what had happened to Herbert?
Well, he had a really big hole in his chest stomach area.
Oh my God.
There were burn marks on him. I believe his plane went down, but he'd been shot and crashed on a little island that as I'm talking, I can sort of see it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not 100% sure if he was ever found.
Wow. And what nationality is Herbert?
Well, he's like American, Canadian, Caucasian gent. He's about, how tall is he? About 5'9", slender, beautiful skin, lovely smile, and he held a pocket watch. So to this day, pocket watches are important to me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Why do you think Herbert has, latched onto you as your protector?
Probably because I was so young, and he might have been, I doubt he's the first one I ever saw, but he's probably the first one I ever talked to.
And because you kind of came across him as a child, does that mean he came from the area you were living?
No. Spirit is like electricity. He just probably picked up on something that was going on in my life at the time and just felt, I needed a little protection.
But, there must be a gazillion spirits out there. Why didn't a gazillion of them do the same thing?
Because we all produce this energy. And whatever the energy is, that's what spirits are attracted to. And obviously my wavelength at that time suited his. And that's why he showed up. Even now, when I connect to spirit, it's about a wavelength. I mean, okay. On the weekend, someone wanted to talk to their mother who passed.
Okay.
And how much I tried to get her to talk to me, I picked up on every other person dead in the family. Because she was able to tell them messages and hand on to me, but she wouldn't talk to me directly.
Why wouldn't she?
Because she said my wavelength didn't match hers. So it's like, fine, I can live with that. And maybe there was something there she didn't want me to see.
Ah, okay.
So, better to keep it hidden and let other people do the talking.
Yes, okay. You have mentioned in the past sometimes somebody will speak on behalf of someone else.
Yeah.
So, Herbert, then, do you think, you must think well of Herbert?
I do, and I forgot him for years. When I was in denial of my gift and everything, I totally forgot about him. You know, he just became one of those imaginary friends that disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And when I started up, I think, the first year I started up is when he showed back up.
So he'd been away for a long
There
time.
you are. And it was like, you know, when you remember something, it's like that wham moment.
Yeah.
And that's what it was like. Aha, how could I forget you?
And is he a regular occurrence now?
I'll probably see him maybe once a year now.
And for you, that's a positive.
It's a good thing, yeah.
It's a good thing. Oh, that's nice. So he's a good protector.
He's a good spirit, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I think that's pretty unique. Well, maybe it's not unique, but I certainly don't know of other people who have their own spirit protectors. I mean, maybe they do, but it's nice that you know your spirit protector from such a young age all the way through to now.
Yeah, and I've had a few others along the way, but he's probably the one I'll remember the most.
And when he speaks to you, or does he actually literally speak to you, or just gives you a better feeling, a sense, what?
A little of everything.
Oh, neat.
Now that I've probably talked about him today, I may dream about him tonight.
Well, I hope that's not a negative thing.
No, it's never a negative thing.
Great. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Seeing Dead People. Whatever's going on in Darcy's head, I think is so cool and astonishing. We'd love to hear from you with questions for Darcy about her psychic process or suggestions for other mystifying situations you would like us to investigate. So please, shoot us an email to info@radiosidney.ca with Seeing Dead People in the subject line. New episodes of Seeing Dead People will emerge on the first Saturday of every month and will also be available every Saturday night at 8 p.m. and Sunday morning at 10 a.m., both Pacific Standard Time. Seeing Dead People will also be available as a downloadable podcast online at RadioSidney.ca for your convenience. Cool news! Seeing Dead People is now a podcast on YouTube. Just search for Nicola Furlong Mysteries, and you will find 3 podcasts of videos dedicated to Seeing Dead People. One for our actual complete episodes, another for Darcy's fascinating answers to our listeners' questions about her psychic process, and a third with teasers highlighting each episode. Thanks so much for listening to Seeing Dead People. I really dig researching, writing, and communicating with Darcy and her otherworldly contacts. So until the next time, remember, Seeing Dead People is a blast with Goosebumps Guaranteed.
This has been a program of Radio Sydney.